So I come to tell you He's alive, to tell you that He dries every tear that falls.
Hello, this is Clint Louie coming to you today with 5 Minutes from Friendship. I'm happy to introduce to you today Brother Mike Ragland. Brother Ragland is the dear man God used to preach the gospel the night that I got saved. And I'm thankful that you get to hear Brother Ragland today. The recording is just a little difficult to hear at the beginning, but it does improve. So turn your volume up, get ready, and we thank the Lord for this message today from Brother Ragland.
Well, greetings, Brother Clint Louie and the good people of Fellowship Baptist Church. Thank you for this opportunity to share with you the Word of God. In the book of Matthew, chapter 14, we have the story of Jesus walking on the water. And the disciples was troubled. They had fear set up in their heart. And then when Jesus began to walk on the water, in verse 27, but straightway the Bible said that Jesus spake unto them, saying, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid. Jesus spake for them. Just notice in this text, they was filled with fear. And now Jesus speaks for them, and He said, Be of good cheer, it is I. I want to look from the spectrum of this, of a hurricane that we've been associated with over these several years, being down south, of bad weather coming in and hurricanes. One of the things that the weathermen always talked about was the eye, or the center of the storm. And here Jesus Christ He speaks to the disciples, and He said, It is I, the center of the storm. I want to notice 3 things here this afternoon concerning the center of the storm. When Jesus said, It is I, He's just simply saying the I is the center of the storm. That is, He's the pivot of the storm. I bless His sweet name, my friend, that when Jesus said, Be of good cheer, it is I, that He is the center of the storm. It is I. He's the pivot. He knows how to pivot that storm. He can move it to the right. He can move it to the left. He's able, my friend, to do that with the storms. You remember the story of the disciples when they was when they was on the ship and the seas was troubled. The wind was blowing hard, and Jesus stepped up on the bow of the vessel, and Jesus speaks unto the wind, and He speaks unto the waves, and He said, Peace, be still. I'm just telling you, He's able to still speak to the winds and to the waves. I bless His name today that He's able to speak for you and I. He knows your need. He knows my need. So He's the eye of the storm. He's the center of the storm. He's the pivot of the storm. He knows which way to move the storm. Then number 2, not only He's the center of the storm, but He's the controller of the storm. The storm is controlled by the eye. The eye controls the storm. That is, not only He's the pivot of the storm, but He's the pilot of the storm. He's able to pilot that storm. He knows which way to carry the storms in our life. He knows when to slow it down. He knows when to speed it up. I'm just thankful today that He is the pilot of the storm. I want to thank God for it. Then third of all, quickly, He's the calm of the storm. That He is the controller of the storm. That is, He's the peace. God can give you peace today in the midst of the storm. Thank you, my brother, and God bless you. May the Lord's sweet blessings be on you today. That He is the pilot, He's the pivot, He's the peace of the storm.